Welcome to the CurvaCast. I am Jay Gibson Trimble, your host, and welcome to day 10 of the 12 days of January. I cannot believe that we are almost done, guys. Like, this time has flown by so fast. I've enjoyed it. Yesterday was a little heavy for me, but last night, I made sure that I did things that helped me to get out of the funk that I was feeling. And I think, that could have been like a whole day's prompt by itself about how we work ourselves out of funks. But what I did was I just made sure that I, first of all, eventually removed myself from all the news, right? It was just a bit much. I mean, it continues to be a bit much, but I found myself once again, like I said, deep diving and getting lost in it. So I had to make sure I removed myself from it. And then I did things that I love. And that brings us to today's prompt. In the midst of all the things we have to do in our lives, how often are we denying ourselves the things that we love? How often are we not saying yes to things that we know would fill our hearts and our soul with joy? I know previously, earlier in the series, we talked about joy and how we need to make room and time for it. But this is a little bit more of a deep dive about how, like, what are we saying yes to? Are we saying no to the wrong things? Okay. I was listening back to the previous versions of the podcast, and I mean, I can laugh about it now, but there was one year when I talked about the fact that in 2020, I probably took a soak maybe a handful of times. And this sounds crazy to you if you know me, because I absolutely love my soaks. I love them, absolutely love them. And the reason why, that I discussed on the podcast was that first I was saying, I didn't want to take them because every time I would think about taking it, it'd be too late, and I don't like fall asleep in the bathtub, or my plants would be, I would water my plants in the tub, so it's like all this dirt and all this other stuff. And then finally, I just acknowledged the fact that I didn't do it a lot because I hated the tub. When we first moved in, we had one tub, and then it turns out when they installed it, it had a crack in it. So they had to come and put in this metal tub, and it just was horrible. It was horrible. I hated it. It, definitely kind of ruined my soaking experience. So I ended up not taking nearly as many soaks as I wanted, even though it's something that I absolutely live off of, absolutely thrive from. I mean, it was the whole, you know, reason why this podcast even started in 2017, because I was taking a soak and was inspired to create it. So it is a reminder to me that sometimes we definitely get in our own way, right? Because there were things that I could have done. Now I know there are things I could have done to make the tub less annoying. I could have gotten like a bath pillow for my neck, and just other things that I would enjoy. I could have got like one of those little bath trays, and did my little setup thing, because that's a huge thing for me. I'm always about having my drinks, because when I take my soaks, I used to have 3 drinks: H2O, a warm drink, usually tea or hot chocolate, but usually tea, and then a little something, a little libation with a little alcohol percentage in it. So I would always have my 3 glasses with me, usually when I'm in the tub. But I let that one little thing stop me. The fact that the tub wasn't as high as the previous one, and the fact that it would get cold because it's metal, unlike the previous one. I let that stop me from doing something that I absolutely love. So today I want to talk to you about asking yourself, what are you letting stop you from doing the things that you absolutely love? Early on in the series, we talked about being flexible with ourselves, giving ourselves grace. So this is definitely one of those times where we need to remember that, because it's definitely a very serious question that you need to ask yourself, and you probably need to spend some time to think about it. I mean, because it could be something as simple as you not taking soaks, like me. I just wasn't taking my soaks. Or something like, you want to dress a certain way, but you don't because people close to you talk about people who dress that way. Or you want to cut your hair because people always feel like, give you compliments about your hair. So you feel like if you changed your hair, then you would get all this flack and all this other stuff because you changed your hair. And so you feel like maybe the style wouldn't work for you because other people have said things to you about how they feel it would not work for you. But it's something that you've always wanted to do. Those kind of things. Not really, they don't seem like really huge things, but over time they do add up to, things that really kind of weigh on you, right? Because you really want to try that cute hairstyle. You really want to cut your hair. You really want to wear, these colors. You know what I mean? And you're saying no to yourself because of the fear of judgment or, just out of fear in general of, of not being accepted or being singled out. And so I want to encourage you today to take the power of yes back for yourself. Say yes to the things that you want to do, that you would love, that will bring you joy. And stop worrying about what other people might think. Because honestly, we already know life is hard. We need to have all the joy we can get. And if saying yes to yourself more brings that for you, then it is 100% a requirement. So think about it. How will you say yes to yourself today? But there you have it. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you on the next one.